there, welcome back to my channel, where today I used the Cat's Breath palette from Untitled along with a couple others from my collection in order to create this eyeshadow look, which was inspired by something that I saw on Instagram. I have a whole file in my phone of saved photos from like Instagram inspiration. I rarely dip into that file because generally I can come up with something, but today I was a little bit stuck, and so I went and found this beautiful eyeshadow look. I'll make sure that I credit the original artist, and I had so much fun creating it. So if you'd like to see how I did that, then don't go anywhere. If you're new to my channel, hey there, my name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom, and I love to play with colorful eyeshadow. So if you would like to see lots of colorful content on your timeline, you may want to consider liking and subscribing. I have been uploading at least 3 videos a week, although as I film this right now, I've been having a couple issues with my internet connection. I'm doing my best to keep the upload schedule consistent as I work through those issues. Hopefully you won't even notice a difference, but I hope you'll bear with me, and remember that there is already lots of content on my channel, so it should keep you busy for a little while. Now, I definitely have a plan for today's look. I'm going to be pretty much staying within the Saga of Freya palette from Untitled. However, I want to get a shimmer from Colourpop because I want the texture, and then I'll probably use a topper from the Untitled palette. The Colourpop shimmer will probably be from the Play It Jewel palette, and then I may or may not be needing a black, and if I do, I'll just grab it from my Paradise Fallen palette from Ace Beauté. But those are the palettes I plan on using, and we'll see how this goes. My eyes are already primed. I used the Glam Light primer in the shade White Frosting. Now I'm going to take a medium blending brush, and in the Cat's Breath palette, I'm going to take the shade Warmth. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this in my crease and blend it towards the bridge of the nose, but I'm not going to bring it very high because I actually want to put a totally separate color up higher. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to start with that color or start with this orange Warmth, but I think I'll start with Warmth and go from there. And I want to talk today about my favorite TV shows. I remember several years ago my brother introduced my husband and I to the American version of The Office, and we had no idea at the time that it was going to be such a hit for us. It is such a funny show. I remember seeing parts of, well, a few episodes really, of the British version of the show, and I really didn't like that one. I'm not a big fan of Ricky Gervais. I think he's quite crass, and the Michael Scott character manages to do the inappropriate sorts of things, but without being quite as gross or rude or crass. I mean, once in a while he is. I've seen a couple of outtakes where he made a joke that never made it to primetime TV, and I was glad of it because I was like, ooh, really? However, overall, the Ricky Gervais character is much, much worse than the Michael Scott character. And I just prefer Michael Scott, and I think that's something which Steve Carell has portrayed in Michael Scott's character, which we don't see in Ricky Gervais' character, is a bit of a childlike personality. Like, in some ways he's quite immature. He's very much like a little boy. You know, we find out that he wanted to be a manager because he wanted friends. He wanted people to like him and look up to him, and that's such a little boy, childlike need. And it really gives you a peek into his, like, the psychology of the character and his personality and his motivation for things. And we see that as a theme throughout the show when they're showing Michael Scott when he's on Fundle Bundle, that's the television show when he was a kid. And the same thing, he basically talks about how he wants to have 100 friends, and it's just, as annoying as Michael Scott can be as an adult, they do such a good job of giving you a peek into his mind and really why he behaves the way he does as an adult. And I think that helps the audience have this level of compassion and understanding for the character, which we would not have if it was just a jerky boss, you know? They do such a good job with that. And it always fascinates me when I watch the show, because we own the entire series on DVD. And whenever we go back and watch the show again, I'm like, wow, he can be such a jerk. But even the people within the office will have this level of compassion for him, and they're like, but why? And the viewer's sitting there going, why? Why do you have that compassion for him? And then you'll see something like that and you go, oh, really? He's just a hurt little boy. It's fascinating. It's so well done. I'm also taking a very small pencil brush and I'm bringing this color to the inner corner. Like this. I mean, I can connect it right here if I want to, but this is blended out more. I want this at the very inner corner as a pop of orange, and I'll drag it onto the lower lash line as well, about halfway, I think. This look was inspired by something I saw on Instagram. I get a lot of inspiration from Instagram. I actually have an album in my phone where I'll screen shoot a picture. I go, oh, and then I put it in the album, and then the album is called Eyes to Try. And if I'm feeling like, oh man, what do I want to do today? Like I can't think of something, or I didn't have a specific plan, or you know, the shirt that I'm wearing isn't inspiring me, then I'll go to that album and I'll find something that works. And that's what today's look is. I don't do it all the time because I have probably 50 photos in that album, and it's actually infrequent that I grab a picture and copy it because I usually have ideas on my own, usually, or I can just grab a palette and go, ooh, I want to do this with it. Once in a while I have a theme or something, but last night I was trying to think of what to do today, and I was kind of stuck. So I went into that album and I was like, oh yeah. Now I'm taking a small and pinched blending brush, something that gives me control to make a thinner line without blending it out. And I'm going to take the shade Catnip, which is the Tiffany Blue Matte, and I'm going to place this right above the orange that I laid down. This is going to go under the brow bone. I have to be careful. I don't want to really blend it into the orange because I don't want it to get all brown and muddy. I want it to be blue and then orange. So at some point I have to just accept whatever blend I'm gonna get. So yeah, The Office is definitely one of our favorite shows. After we watched The Office several times, a whole series several times, we started watching Parks and Rec, and I think that that's a natural progression for a lot of people. Office, Parks and Rec, because they're both kind of along the same sort of sense of humor and style and feel, you know. And Parks and Rec is a lot of fun too. We've enjoyed Parks and Rec a good deal. I think The Office is better, and Parks and Rec is obviously newer. You know, they couldn't make The Office these days because people are too easily offended and everybody would get upset. It's frequent that we'll watch The Office and then, you know, they'll make a joke and we'll look at each other and go, wow, they could not do that these days. And it's not that we're offended, it's just other people would be. Parks and Rec is really funny. We don't watch it as much. We've watched it, I think, once through because it was on a streaming service that we had, and then once it left that streaming service, we haven't bought the DVDs or anything. It's not one that we own. But we do sometimes quote it, and I found that the characters within Parks and Rec were very likable and funny as well, and that was a pretty funny TV show. I want to blend the blue and the orange together, but I have to do it very carefully, and so I'm going to take a really, really loose blending brush and go on the very edge where the two meet, and I'm going to line up the brush is pinched, so it's a little bit of a U shape. I'm going to line that line up with the very edge where these two shadows meet and go back and forth in short strokes, just basically to soften the orange into the blue. There is something about this palette which really, it kind of inspires me. It's sort of a weird color combo, but when I saw it before I purchased it, I knew that I would love it. And I actually use this one quite frequently. I don't know what it is about like the Tiffany blue and orange that just looks so pretty together. And then they've got the deepening green shade too. It's just a really neat and interesting palette. I like a palette that has an unexpected color story. In the Play It Jewel palette from Colourpop, I'm going to take the shade Luster. And I like to apply Colourpop shadows with my finger. I feel that they apply really nicely. So I'm going to go in with my finger into the shade Luster. And I'm going to place that on the whole lid space from the inner corner out to meet the mattes. In my standard style, at the inner corner I'm going to be covering up the orange, but since it's a light shimmer, the orange is still gonna shine through underneath and then give it sort of an orange hint in that part of the eye. And really this is gonna be a base color for an Udin's Eye shimmer that I'll place over top of it. So it's not the most precise thing, I'm just laying it down as a foundation. Back into the Cat's Breath palette, I'm gonna take a flat shader brush and grab the shade Cat Star, and I'm gonna spray this because I like to spray my shimmers. My baby's awake. I'll have to go up to her in a minute. I'm just gonna lay this on top of the sparkle that I just laid down from Colourpop. I'm just going right over top of it. Editing Rachel here. There was one show that I forgot to mention, and it has been a favorite. It is Frasier, based off of the character from the Cheers episode so many years ago. Frasier and his brother Niles are both psychiatrists, both very interested in culture, the arts, high class, high society sorts of things. And their father Martin is a former cop who's more of a beer and pork rinds kind of fellow. Martin is getting older and he is also injured on the job, so he comes to live with Frasier, and the whole series is about their relationships as they form and blossom. They start off, really struggling, and then it ends on quite a good note. But the series is hilarious. It is full of very intelligent humor, quite different from Parks and Rec and The Office, but still a really great show. And then I'll take my original blending brush and just buff out this edge here where the matte meets the shimmer. Okay, I need to go take care of my baby, but I will be back for you in just a few seconds to finish this look up. Alright, I'm back. This look is almost done. I'm going to take a black eyeshadow. I happen to be using the Paradise Fallen palette from Ace Beauté. You could take any black. And I'm going to combine it with the shade Cat Hair from the Cat's Breath palette, which is a brown matte with some sparkle in it. And I'm going to put this on the outer portion of my lower lash line. I just use this as a very light reverse cat eye, so I'll use this as my liner. That's my baby. She's playing in her exerciser. Hi. I don't want anything really stark or distinct here. I'm just going to gently wing it out. And then for my waterline, I'm not sure what color to do. I don't have an orange. I wish I had an orange, but I don't. I think I'll use peach. I'm going to finish this look and then come back to show you how it all turns out. Alright guys, this is how it turned out. I actually think it's really pretty. It's funny because I took my husband to work this morning when the eyeshadow look was mainly done, but not totally there. And then when I came back and I saw myself in the mirror, I went, oh, I don't like it as much as I did before. But it was already on, and I had confidence, I had faith. So what I did was I dipped back into the Cat's Breath palette. I took the Tiffany Blue matte shade and I put it on top a little bit more of this orange shade, and then just kept working at it to blend them together until I was happy with the result. I think it actually turned out quite pretty, especially once I put the liner and mascara on, and I like it. At the end of the day, I do really like how it turned out. I like the unexpected color combination, and I just think it's really interesting. On my lips, I am wearing the Cloud Pout Marshmallow Lip Mousse from Wet n Wild in the shade Sugarholic. It is generous to call this a lip mousse because it's really not soft or smooth at all. It's actually quite dry and it dries down matte, which I don't like. I like the color, that's actually why I bought it. I wanted the Colourpop Lip Oil in this shade Hot Spark, which is an orange lip oil. I really like their lip oils. But I haven't gotten that one yet, and I was at Walmart and this was like $3. So, you get what you pay for. It's got the color that I wanted, and then on top of it, I just put some chapstick to add some moisture and a bit of shine. But all together with the eye look and the orange, I think it pulls out quite nicely. So here's the look. That's the end of the video. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for bearing with me and my internet issues, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye!